the Unfazed Review Podcast. I'm Ben.
I'm Emmett.
I'm Alan.
And today we're joined by Alan Himmis. Some of you guys probably know Alan from some of the vlogs we've done in the past. I'm trying to think the last one we did together. Was it Arrowhead and Portillo's or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
I don't.
But yeah, it's been a long time. But Alan and I have been friends since we were 7 years old. He is my oldest friend, and it's just an honor to have you on the pod, man, because you want to let them know what's about to happen?
Oh, I joined the military, going to the Coast Guard.
Wow.
So
Kind of a big
exciting.
deal.
Yeah, I'm going to work for Joe Biden. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, things are going to be great under Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of cool to have Alan on the pod because this is actually your very first podcast, which is an honor. But you've been in probably, I'm going to say at least 5 Unfazed videos throughout the years, so the audience is vaguely familiar with you. But tell them some stuff they might not know about you. What are some fun facts about Alan?
Fun facts.
Besides the fact you're hung like a horse.
Yeah. I thought they knew that already.
That was implied.
But
If you're one of our friends.
fun facts. Yeah, I met Ben in 2nd grade.
Mm-hmm.
How many people know that?
Yeah.
And then we reconnected.
Yes.
Our love for each
in
other.
4th grade.
We rekindled our love for each other in 4th grade.
It's hot and heavy in 4th grade.
And yeah, I mean, I don't lead a very exciting life. I quit my job. That was exciting.
How did that feel? Because you were at the job for 5 years, and your main job was dealing with asshole customers on the phones.
Yes.
How satisfying was that to put in your 2 weeks? Like your last 2 weeks, were you like, kind of giving them some shit? Like were you, like
Oh, definitely.
deliberately like not following up on cases?
Oh,
like,
absolutely. I'm like, yeah, I'll get right back to you. I'll give you a call. So I worked for insurance, and it was very phone heavy. So a lot of asshole customers. You're the big bad insurance company when they call in. So just right off the bat, they're dickheads. So it was nice giving them shit back, like Ben said.
That's great. It's very satisfying.
That's cool.
It was good. Yeah, and I don't know how I stuck it out for 5 years. I want to
That's insane.
blow my brains out almost every day. but it felt satisfying to quit. My manager, I was in a Zoom meeting with him. He was going to give me go over my performance. And before it started, I just said, "Hey, listen, I'm taking a new direction." He didn't expect it. Caught him off guard.
Nice.
He's nice. I didn't want to burn bridges, but it was.
You're like, hey, guess what? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it was satisfying to quit.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
My last job when I left, one thing that was cool about it, I was also on a very phone-heavy, phone-centric job. When I put in my 2 weeks notice, they gave me a call and they were like, hey, you don't have to come in for your last 2 weeks after I put in the 2 weeks notice. And I was like, oh, do you mean like I'm fired? I'm like, because I already put in my 2 weeks notice. And like, no, we'll pay you out for your last 2 weeks. You're good to go. Just you don't have to bother with coming in.
Shit.
And I think that was their way of kind of covering their ass, because in the past they had people that would cuss out customers and kind of sabotage things because there were so many douchey customers.
It's so fun.
So that was one thing that I respected about that company that I was at, is like they paid me for the 2 weeks and they were like, hey, go enjoy yourself. And I was like,
that's cool.
Yeah.
that was a cool move.
Yeah.
So respect for that, definitely. But
It was nice.
yeah, have you ever been in a job, Emmett, where you left and you like kind of sabotaged or like fucked with some stuff? Or?
No, not really. I haven't really had a lot of customer service jobs. I mean,
That's good.
Like it was like I had like entry level customer service jobs, the movie theater and all that. But I never had the balls to do any of that stuff.
Don't ever do it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to though.
That's good though. One thing I promised to myself after my previous job was never again with the phones.
Yeah.
Never again.
The
Like
phone's
I
not
never
bad.
want to have a phone job. And if you guys do have phone jobs, like respect to you. Like I did it for years. Like I get it, but try to find a way out.
Yeah.
Because I think over time it sucks your soul. It's not healthy for people to be just sabotaged by shitty people on the phone all day. It's not good.
Unless you're like a travel agent, everyone's happy calling you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
vacations. I could probably do that, but
Yeah, I feel like you don't need a travel agent anymore. You got Booking.com and Expedia.
the old people.
I did.
The old
The human touch.
Yeah.
I want to talk to someone who can get you to the Bahamas. I want to get. So, Alan, I have a question for you. What was your logic in saying, "Hey, I want to go from my illustrious career talking to people in insurance to saying I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna totally shake up my life, and I'm gonna join the Coast Guard"? Like, I mean, I know a bit of it, but I think the audience would like to hear like your thought process, you know, like everything that goes into it, and kind of like making a big shift in your life, you know?
Yeah, so I think it was always something that I was interested in doing, and then as time went on, I got a job, and I'm like, okay, I just kind of put that on the back burner. I never even saw it as an option again after I got a job.
Yeah.
It never even came up. And then, like I said, I just was not happy with my job.
Mm-hmm.
I was going on Indeed.com, looking for other jobs, but I'm like, man, I'm still going to be stuck in the same position no matter what I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Phoenix for the rest of my life. Like, that's kind of how I felt. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Phoenix the rest of my life.
And that can kind of, like, that fear kind of motivates you sometimes, where it's like, oh, fuck, like, I'm not getting any younger, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then, so then I went to, I think, over the summer I was in San Diego. And I'm like, man, I would love to live by the ocean. And then I drove past a few naval bases and a Coast Guard base. I'm like, maybe I should just put in, like, see what happens.
Yeah.
So I put in, like, a application or whatever for a recruiter. He contacted me. And a couple of days later, I went into the recruiting office. They talked it up because obviously they want you to sign up, but it sounded so cool.
Yeah.
So I did that. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I took the test. did the physical, and then at a certain point, I had to make a decision. Like, hey, am I going to do this? Am I not?
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it, why not? So yeah, I did it, and basically the motivation is just I wanted to, like I said, shake up my life.
Yeah.
Do something a little more adventurous than I'm doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
That's
I did
amazing,
it, and I ship off in 2 weeks.
That's
so.
good. Yeah, as of today, it's like 14 or 15 days, right? Like, do you leave?
Yeah, 2 weeks as of tomorrow.
That's
Wow.
insane.
Okay.
How are the nerves? Like, how's everything going? Are you just like, what's your, you know, the only thing I can equate it to would be like I've never done anything remotely like that. But like stand-up comedy, like I remember just like shitting my brains out beforehand, like the whole day leading up to it, and literally like the 2 weeks from when I signed up, you know, for the very first time going up to it. Like, I was so nervous. Like, it was, like, all I could think about. But I was like, all right, gotta do it. And I had this mindset of, like, if I don't do it, I'm going to be really disappointed in myself. So this is, like, that multiplied by, like, a thousand.
It's terrifying.
So.
But, yeah, I don't know. The drugs help.
Nice, man.
You know?
Good.
Drugs and alcohol.
You gotta numb yourself. But you gotta numb yourself.
Leading up to it's super terrifying. I'm having trouble sleeping now.
Okay.
Like, it's to the point where I'm like, fuck, this is real.
Yeah.
And like even 3 months ago, I'm like, hey, I still have 3 months, and now it's like so close. I'm like, damn, that went by quick.
Yeah.
And I keep watching videos on YouTube. I'm like, shit.
That's intense.
So yeah.
Dude, what kind of videos are you watching that are making you more scared?
X-Men.
Tomboys and twats. No, just the boot camp videos.
Yeah.
It's really, I just want to make it past the boot camp.
I feel like once you get past that, I mean, like, I don't know, but it seems like that's like the biggest hurdle, and then like you're in.
Yeah,
like,
and that's the only branch I would do. I mean, you don't get, you get deployed, but it's not like you're going to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Fighting ISIS, so it's like.
Thank God.
Well, the good news is at least we don't have a senile president.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine.
Oh man,
that's wild. So I don't know if you want to talk about this. If you want to skip it, totally fine, because you know things haven't started yet. But any tips for guys who are thinking about going in as far as the physical part of it? You said that when you were doing the physical, it almost seemed like they were kind of trying to like trip you up a little bit. Is that something you want to talk about?
Oh, like the medical physical.
The doctor. Yeah.
Oh, the doctor.
Yeah.
So the doctor. I mean, I'm sure anyone in the military knows it's called MEPS. Everyone has to go through it, and they are not the nicest people there. You arrive there at 5:30 in the morning. It's like not an all day thing. I think I ended up about 2, but so yeah, you go in there. They basically just herd you around like sheep. They're just yelling at you. I'm not even in the military yet. Fuck you guys. I can walk out right now. Fuck you. But
maybe that's what they wanted.
So I mean, I thought that it was just going to be easy, but I mean, the physical part was easy until they put you in a room with a doctor. And the doctor is basically getting you to admit anything about your medical history, any anxiety. And he makes it seem like he has a list. He goes, I can see your medical history right here. So you might as well just be honest with me. If you lie to me, it's a federal offense to try to scare you. So it is intimidating. I wanted to spill my guts and be like, I broke my arm. I don't know. Just say anything, and I'm like, I can't just self-diagnose myself. I'm not going to tell him anything.
Yeah.
So it was yes sir, no sir. It was just like, yeah. He's
and luckily, none of that ever happened.
Have
You're
you-
healthy as
yeah.
an ox.
yeah, and he's like, have you ever had COVID? I go, yeah. He goes, you just lied to me on your, you marked that you said you didn't have COVID. I'm like, oh geez, and he got like super mad. And then he's like, have you ever had an EKG? I said no. He goes, what's that stand for? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, isn't that a problem? You don't know what it stands for? You marked you didn't
He's a
have
cool
one?
guy.
I'm like, I don't know. I know what it is. Yeah. And then
fuck, Jesus.
That's weird. Yeah.
yeah, he was like,
Sounds like a rageaholic.
yeah. And then so after that, I'm already feeling like shit. I'm like, dude, because I was in there for like 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes of him just question after question, like grilling me, trying to get me to admit to things. And then he's like, okay, pull down your pants. I'm like, after I already felt violated enough. I felt violated enough, and now I have to. So yeah, he had to give me a little bit of a physical. I'm like, damn, I'm like, this sucks. The guy who I already hate him, and now I have to let him diddle me. So I'm like, all right, get it
He's
over.
like, this is what it's all about. This is what I signed up for the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was fun. And then I made sure to warn everyone. Luckily, I was one of the first ones to go, so I was like, hey, just a heads up, he's not your friend. He's not there to be your primary care.
Yeah, that
or
would,
whatever.
that would
So.
piss me off too. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad I got it over with.
That's interesting. I wonder how many people like that's as far as they go. Like they just like they can't get past the pressure of that, and they like lie or they like say the wrong thing or whatever, and like they're done right there. It's probably a lot. Like,
Yeah. Because I think, I can see how you can self-diagnose. Like, if you're an 18-year-old kid walking in there, I can see how you can self-diagnose yourself. Like, hey, do you have problems sleeping? Like, oh, shit,
maybe.
last week I couldn't sleep. And then you just start going into this thing. So, yeah, he was, like, pressuring me. It was intimidating.
That's something I never even thought about until you told me about it, where I was like, oh, they try to, like, trip you up. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know about that either. But,
Man.
yeah, he's definitely not there to be your friend. So that's
intense.
trying to, I can see how, I'm sure a lot of kids put their foot in the mouth, in the mouth.
Yeah. Wow.
But,
have you been watching a lot of, besides the YouTube stuff, have you been like psyching yourself into it? Like, I'm going to watch Full Metal Jacket and like Apocalypse
That's what I
Now
was saying.
and like The Guardian.
yeah, I watched The Guardian.
Did you?
Like, all right, that's
All right,
Yeah,
there we go. I feel like that's the best thing. And like, even like some Rocky movies, like you could like psych yourself
Yeah.
into. Cause
Have you been? I was gonna ask. Have you been like working out to try and get ready for?
Oh yeah.
Go
Been working out. I've been working out for several months now. I run. It sucks now. I have shin splints, so I can't run.
Oh yeah.
Just really hurts, but
Good thing you don't have to run in the military.
But yeah, and then they have like the swim test. I feel like I haven't swam in like
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
a while.
You'll
But,
be good. We'll be
let's
good.
see. But yeah, I've been working out. I think I'm gonna sign up for like CrossFit tomorrow. I know it's only 2 weeks, but just something to have like a
Jumpstart, yeah.
to push me into that like group mentality of working out.
Yeah,
I like
And
that.
swimming is really good for you. If you have like LA Fitness gym membership or anything, you do that.
My fear is that people are gonna watch me. It's like right in the front. I'm gonna look like an idiot.
Yeah.
People are gonna like stare at me swimming. I wish there wasn't a window where everyone
Oh,
could see
man.
You
me.
gotta push the old
When
people
I-
out of the pool.
When I was swimming almost daily, in like 2015, I was like easily the most fit I'd ever been. It really does. Like, it doesn't feel like it, but it really does like change everything.
Yeah.
Like all my other like workout routines became exponentially easier just from like doing a few laps and stuff.
Interesting.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good. It's supposed
maybe
to
I'll-
be, you know,
yeah.
easy on the joints.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, look at Phelps though. Phelps is shredded.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like a man dolphin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're gonna be a man dolphin.
You'll be a man.
Man,
That's very exciting.
But I was just telling you earlier off camera, I like 3 of my best friends from high school went like immediately into the military after graduation, and if they could all do it, you could do it easy.
Yeah. Okay.
They're like, you know, shrimpy, nerdy guys like me.
Yeah.
But they were both
I
fine.
think my fear also is that I'm going to be obviously one of the older ones. So just
It's kind of cool.
I just turned 30.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Happy birthday!
Oh, thank you.
And is it 31 or 32 for the cutoff for the Coast Guard?
I think they just upped it. I think it's 32 now. It used to be 29.
Oh wow!
I think it's one of the, or it is the most challenging academically.
Interesting.
Like the boot camp, a lot of it is classroom work,
Okay.
and
Wow.
they want you to memorize like a ton of stuff.
Huh.
And then they yell at you, want you to
Yeah.
spell it back.
What's 2?
Yeah.
I'm trained this travel like at 75 miles an hour.
Yeah, dude, even in the videos going to Chow, it's like you're getting screamed at like as you're. It's not just
Yeah.
and you can't look. They said you can't.
I hear they wake you up saying, fire, fire, fire.
Yeah. And then you can't look around when you're eating. You just have to look. I heard the story of a dude who he looked out the window as he was eating, and the company commander pulled him up, made him look out the window and use his hands as binoculars, and he had to scream out everything he saw out the window.
That's making you look like an idiot. That's hilarious.
Wow, bizarre. It's like their way of molding you. I could really see how, like, if you go in at like age 18, 19, around there, like how it would like really like, I hate to say it, but brainwash you. It's like, that's what they want. They want you to follow orders, no questions asked. And it's like, I feel like you going in at 30, obviously you'll have to, fit that mold and you'll have to do what they tell you. But I wonder, long term, if it'll like stick with you as much as someone who's like 18. Like, I feel like you'll have a lot more like critical thinking ability. And like,
I feel like it's like I feel like it's like the Winter Soldier, where he's like his own dude, but then as soon as like there's a click where someone says like the command words, and he like goes back into that super soldier.
You're
the Winter Soldier. Yeah. Like you'll be your own man out of it. But then, if shit goes down, you'll snap back into the soldier mode. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how it goes.
Al will be a good candidate for like a Die Hard situation.
Yeah.
He'd be like the funny, quirky guy having a good time, but shit hits the fan, he's ready. He's ready.
Exactly.
He's
Take that story about the three guys at that on that like train in France or whatever, and there was that they stopped that shooter.
Oh yeah.
They had all gone through the military, and they were just like partying together.
That's
and then just like snapped into it and stopped him, and then
that's super.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
it's like some weird superhero.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Water balloons.
Yeah. Alan does all the work, and we throw water balloons.
Yeah, we got him. Get in there, Alan. Get in there. Well, that's exciting, man. So it takes place all in Jersey, right? New Jersey?
Cape May, New Jersey. 8 weeks.
Wow.
All right.
And what did you... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, what did you pick as your three top places you want to be stationed?
Let's see. I want to say San Diego would be my number one, but I feel like I've been there so much that I feel like I should pick something else.
Okay.
So I'd probably say Florida.
That would be cool.
Just because I can't deal with the snow.
You can go to Disneyland and Universal.
Yeah. Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, right. And that's pretty much what you could do the whole time. Like, just forget about the Coast Guard. Just go play at Universal and Disney World.
Fight the alligator.
Like Mickey Mouse or something.
There you go. And what were the other places?
Yeah, I think... Yeah, and then it'd probably be like Florida. I guess San Diego would be number 2.
Yeah. It would be pretty simple.
Any beachfront. That was the. What about Hawaii?
Yeah, I just would be so far away from everything.
Yeah, far away, yeah.
Like,
also, you'd be stationed at the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
So you could be up in, like, Illinois and stuff.
Michigan, yeah. And Mississippi River, they have a few.
MISSISSIPPI? Yeah.
So I don't know anything about the military. Is the shortest amount of time 4 years that you have to serve? Or
Yeah, 4 years.
All right.
So is that 4 years active, or does that include reserves?
There's no reserves after. I think it's 4 years. The contract I did is 4 years active.
Damn! Holy shit!
Yeah. And then
wow, dude, that is insanity.
And I'm done. Yeah.
All right.
I just need to get through the boot camp. I'm just like hyper focused on that.
I think once you're through that,
it's like all I can think about.
You can do pretty much anything. It's like you'll be past the biggest initial hurdle.
Yeah. I think after that, it's hopefully a little more chill. Depending on what job.
You're gonna come back in 4 years like a Michael Bay military hero, all jacked, and you have the Afghanistan shawl.
Just a bunch of hot bitches at the beach. Alan just flinging bitches over his shoulders. You gonna get more tattoos? You do some
sunglasses and a bigger beard.
There you go.
There
you go. That'll be the best. I'm excited. I wish so bad that we could be a fly on the wall. And actually like something we'll never get to see is like Alan in boot camp. There's just gonna be no record of it. Like we'll just have to have the stories.
We'll glue an unfazed GoPro to right between your eyes.
We'll have it surgically inserted under his eye. And the feed will go to Warhammer.
Just Warhammer.
Very excited, man. I'm super proud of you, super excited for you, and just do it, man. Like Mackie says. I think you'll be fine. I think the first 2 months will be hell, but just power through it, and it'll be coasting after that. Literally.
Yeah.
What did because your stepdad was in the Coast Guard for a really long time, like 25, 30 years plus or something like that?
He was actually in the Navy first, and he switched over to the Coast Guard.
Okay. What were some of his words of wisdom for you?
Don't do it. He said, you'll be fine. Sounds like he's downplaying the the boot camp aspect of it, but
Hmm.
yeah, it looks, like I said, it looks scary.
Wow. Emmett, if you ever were to have joined the military, like it's clearly not for me and Emmett, but like if you were, like let's say back like when you were like 18,
Yeah.
what would you have joined?
I wanted to because all my friends were doing it,
Yeah.
and I was really into like Halo and Call of Duty. I wanted to be those guys.
Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I had like 4. It was Mike, Danny, Dylan, and Austin. 4 of my like best friends from middle school and high school. And they all went into the military. I couldn't because I have asthma. I just I can't.
Yeah.
And I briefly thought about being like a cop too and stuff like that. But you know, especially when you're a kid, everyone wants to do the Marines because that's supposed to be the most hardcore one.
Yeah.
But realistically, I'd probably just do Army or something. You know?
Nice.
But yeah. What made you do Coast Guard? Just because you want to be out on the ocean? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
just
cool.
I don't want to, because I mean, if you do something else like Army, imagine you get like stationed in a base in Wyoming, or
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean,
Seems like it would-
or like
yeah.
somewhere in the, like Nebraska. I'm like,
Yeah, it seems like it'd be a little less picturesque.
yeah,
Like you want to be by the water, you want to have that
Yeah.
lifestyle.
What about you? What branch would you be?
I would have done Air Force.
Yeah, okay, cool.
100%. That would have been my first choice.
I think there's a lot of computer numbers and stuff in the Air Force, or
I have no idea. I just
think there is,
thought it sounded cool.
Well, yeah.
I would have been one of those guys if I would have gone in, and I considered with Al, like we considered like around like age 21, 22.
yeah,
And at that time, I would have done it for all the wrong reasons. I just wanted the chicks, the clout, and the cool uniform, and just to be like near jets and be like, yeah, like I did it for like I would have done it for the completely wrong reasons, like
to be near jets,
not for patriotism, nothing like that.
pretend you're a Top Gun Maverick.
Exactly. I just wanted some aviators and just to hit on chicks. Like that. Literally, that was it.
Playing the Top Gun soundtrack in your iPod.
Exactly. See, I would have been a terrible candidate for that. So much respect to that one.
I had yeah, absolutely.
Same.
I could never do it. I know I could never do it, but yeah, I had an older cousin who was in the Air Force, and he works for like Boeing now or whatever.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, he's like the main character out of some World War II movie or something. He's just like he fits the bill to a T. He's like this tall, really handsome, super stoic.
Interesting.
He's always been like that guy.
Huh.
So I could see him.
Some people just fit into it like a fish in water. You know, like it's just perfect.
Yeah,
You know?
I would definitely be a Gomer Pyle.
Yeah.
Whatever his name was.
You know Gomer Pyle, the actor? Gay in real life.
I can see it.
Yeah, Gomer Pyle. Fuck the guys. Yeah. Fun fact. Look it up.
I'd be a Gomer Pyle just from the mess. I'd be like destroyed after 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh God. Shooting myself.
Yeah, I don't think I could. Like, you ever have any anxiety? I'd be like, no. I don't think so. Not once. But
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many positives you can take from it, and you
Yeah.
build yourself up as a person.
yeah.
So you just gotta remember those things.
yeah, and it's one of those, like, I think if you didn't and you missed the boat, like, you'd be kicking yourself. Like, like if you didn't at least try.
Yeah.
If you were, like, 33 and you're like, oh, fuck, I wish I would have tried that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and I think that goes for everybody, like, not saying just specifically the military, but like anything you want to do, just fucking do it. Like, we gotta die someday. Like, you don't want to look back when you're an old person and be like, oh, I have all these fucking regrets. Like, that's like one of the worst things you can do to yourself. You know?
Yeah.
So it's cool.
And it's nice that it's heavily like academic, so you're gonna have a lot of. It's gonna be productive.
Yeah.
So, like Army and everything is just like kick you and make you walk through the mud every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Coast Guard. You're actually doing stuff that is like good for you.
Can the drill sergeants punch you?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
You'd have to sign a waiver for that, I'm sure.
No.
Serious question.
I think back in the day, probably in the 70s.
Oh, I'm sure they beat the shit out of you. Probably up until the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever see the movie In the Army Now with Pauly Shore?
No.
You should watch it before you go. It's funny. It's him and Andy Dick. It was like just a goofy 90s, you know, not Dumb and Dumber caliber, but like that era, you know, of comedy.
You watch In the Army Now, watch Tropic Thunder. And
You'll be ready to rock. And reruns of Eddie Griffith with Gomer. Gomer Pyle. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with more Alan Himmis and tantalizing stories.
compete, you've got to be strong. To win, you've got to be smart. Maybe you can be one of us. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Coast Guard, get out of here! Coast Guard to base, he is running. Copy that, in pursuit of suspect. This is United States Coast Guard. Skipper, stop your vessel. Don't stop!
This is not a sneak preview of my next movie. This is what our Coast Guard does every day. They're the U.S. law enforcement on the high seas. The Coast Guard stops drug smugglers, prevents illegal immigration, and protects our ports and harbors. Now, what do you do every day? Be part of the action.
Coast Guard and Coast Guard Reserve. Find out more. Call toll-free or see your Coast Guard recruiter.
All right, and welcome back from that brief but necessary intermission. Did you like those commercials?
It's nice to see you again.
Did they hit home? Did they resonate? I hope so. You're gonna belch.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you. Alan, when was the first time we met? Well, not the first
second grade.
No, the first time we met, but the first time we hung out. Do you remember? I know you remember. I just want it preserved on camera.
You met on the playground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the story. So Alan and I actually, when we were 7, we sat together, like next to each other in second grade. But then you know how they move you around a lot. I remember at one point we were like diagonal from each other, but we were never friends because we were, we just were classmates. But then, end of second grade, like probably 2 months before, like around like the year, early into the year 2000, before I left that school, we hung out.
Yeah. We're on the playground, and it was those spiral things. I don't even know if they have those anymore.
Oh yeah, the metal spiral.
Like
Yeah.
the auger.
And we were like shipping around. Yeah. We've gone to school together for a while.
Down, 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 down. Yeah, I remember that.
Into middle school together,
Yeah,
high school.
yeah. We were connected all through school.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Good time. And you lived super close to me. Your mom's house was like literally like 5 blocks away.
You guys bike riding to see each other and hang out?
Yes, go
play
bike
ball.
ride. I go to Alan's house. Hello, good out.
Beautiful.
We're playing his trampoline. Alan had a trampoline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a trampoline.
Good times. Super good times. But yeah, it's gonna be tough seeing Alan go, but at the same time, like it's necessary. It's like you get to those points in life where it's like, if you keep doing the same thing, it's more sad than seeing someone go on to like accomplish something.
Yeah.
Because it's like if we kept doing the same thing, it'd be like, fuck, we'd be kicking ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's good. You're
Thank
involved.
you. You
You're
can come
involved.
visit me.
That's
You too.
Oh,
that's a huge
You
part.
both.
Yeah. Dude, that's gonna be the best.
Yeah, depends what.
You better get stationed somewhere cool.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Juneau, Alaska.
I'll come visit you once. One time. One vlog. Dude, Alaska would be great. Wow, you could get stationed in Alaska. Holy shit.
It's kind of cool. I've heard it's like beautiful.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of salmon and Inuit women.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was like a lot of rape and stuff, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. They have a big drug problem too.
Yeah,
One of the
yeah.
highest.
Nice.
Just 'cause
Yeah.
Oh, you can party.
That'd be cool.
Oh, snow, winter ones.
New York would be cool. You can be stationed in New York City.
That's cool.
Like the Hudson River and
What the
stuff.
fuck? That's badass. Yeah.
They like patrol the Hudson River and all that.
That's so cool.
That would be super cool. You'd be a New Yorker.
Yeah. Patrolling the Hudson River. It's very cinematic. Yeah.
Do you have, just before we get too deep into the future here, do you have a prediction or like a gut feeling or like this like sense of where you're going to be? Like, do you have like in your mind when you envision it, do you have like a certain place that comes to mind? Like, I bet I'm going to be stationed there. Like,
I don't know. No, I don't.
really?
No, I don't know. I'm like hyper focused on the boot camp aspect. I haven't even thought that far. I know you can put in a dream sheet. It's not guaranteed.
Mhm.
I think it's like your 4th weekend. You put in a dream sheet.
I dreamed about Lady Gaga.
Yeah, I was saying dream sheet. It sounds like
And
it.
some goats. It was wacky, man.
Yeah, hopefully.
Submit that to the.
They're like,
What the fuck?
I could be way off, obviously, but I have a feeling you'll get stationed by the Carolinas, like a South Carolina or North Carolina or something.
Oh.
Hey, I'd love
Yeah,
I mean, Heidi's in the Carolinas.
yeah, a little Southern accent.
Yeah.
There's some.
You in the Coast Guard, Alan?
Morgan Wallen.
that. I reckon I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean, if I got stationed like Miami,
Oh.
I miss
that if I got stationed in Miami, I would definitely go a few. Because I think once you're out of boot camp, they give you like 5 days leave, and then a few extra days for travel. So I think what I would do is, if I got stationed somewhere cool, I'd definitely go a couple days in advance.
For sure.
And just party. Especially if you're somewhere like Miami.
Yeah, you gotta get some amber aviators and a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh,
yeah. Cool. I feel like it'd just be a bunch of like hot like Colombian women.
Yeah, you'll get the women, man. That's one of the best perks, you know. Just tell them you're in any branch of the military. And
I don't date military boys. Shit. Man. That's exciting. One thing we could talk about that I know the Unfazed crew loves to hear about, and we haven't really talked about a lot lately, is politics. And Alan is actually super politically literate. He has a poli-sci degree, and like he like eats, breathes, and sleeps like political podcasts and political content. So I feel like you're like a perfect person who actually like knows his shit about politics. Mm-hmm. So we could like go through like maybe some, because I don't really have like a specific topic to talk about. We could go through like the news and just see like modern political happenings.
This has been a stretch where like I don't even actually know what's going on in politics. It's just kind of nice.
All I know about is like the bank failure. But what?
I know Trump is like running now and trying to really push
Ukraine war.
Well, maybe Alan just roll through it and then anything.
Ron DeSantis. Tell us about Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
So you guys, he's governor of Florida. He's like Trump without the baggage, and. So he's gonna. I mean, he hasn't announced it, but I think he's gonna run against Trump in 2024.
I think he will.
And I think that he's gonna be the new guy. And people are like, I like Trump. He did his job, but I think he paved the way for people like Ron DeSantis who like stick it to the media. They're harsh. Whereas in the past, Republicans, they're very, they have no backbone. It's like we should compromise and okay, yeah, we should, but the Democrats don't do that. They don't say that about us. And so Ron DeSantis, he called, I forgot who it was. I think it was AOC or someone named, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Well, he's like Trump without the baggage. He doesn't have that. So Trump has been bashing him left and right, thinking he's going to run.
Bizarre.
Which is bizarre. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be bashing your own, because Democrats don't do that. Whenever a candidate runs, everyone gets behind them, supports them. Whereas you shouldn't bash your own. It's just not a good look. So
the only thing I worry about with DeSantis and Trump running, because like think about it this way. Let's say Ron DeSantis hypothetically gets the nomination, the Republican nomination, right? And he's running for president, and then he goes up against the incumbent Biden. Then let's say Trump runs as an independent. The only thing I worry about is like the same thing that happened back in the day with Ross Perot and George Bush and Clinton.
And pull votes.
It'll pull votes away from DeSantis, the ones that are like Trump loyalists, and they'll Biden will stay in another 4 years, and then he'll croak or whatever. Then Kamala Harris will be our fucking president. It's like. Ugh.
That's a scary
idea. So that's a fear, but we'll see. Hopefully everything will work out, but I do have a very strong feeling. We said it on our New Year's predictions. I think DeSantis is going to be the guy. Like he's going to be the one that gets the nomination, I think.
Little DeSantis. Jolly old Saint Nick, I call him.
Ron DeSanctimonious.
He doesn't have the stamina.
He doesn't know anything. He's surrounded by gators. Let me tell you, he's not coming to Mar-a-Lago. He's not coming to Mar-a-Lago. I want to hear your Trump impression. Alan does a killer Trump.
No, just when I'm drunk. I think it's good.
Do it right now. Do it.
We all do good impressions.
Come on. Tell it to the fake news media right here. Come on.
Frankly,
people of Unfazed, listen here.
That was beautiful. That was your boys over at Unfazed Reveal.
That was very
They're doing incredible things.
They're straight shooters. They're great. Alan Evans. He's a straight shooter.
We love the people of Unfazed. We love them.
Baron introduced me to Unfazed. It's great. Well, very excited. So that's all we got in politics? Nothing else?
I mean, Ukraine war.
What's going on with the Ukraine war? Nothing. It's not
I think
cool.
Biden just keeps sending money over there.
Yeah.
She should.
Wasn't there like some massive bill that just got passed that was like $2 billion or something?
Yeah, they've been sending money for the last year.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's, in my opinion, it's something we shouldn't be involved in.
Ron DeSantis says protecting Ukraine is not a key issue. Good.
Yeah. There you go. Very interesting. Steven Seagal says he's pro-Russia.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they're pro-Russia now. They're just getting like sick of it.
Very wacky, yeah. Very wacky. Yeah, I've been really removed from politics the past few months. It's like I get like a general sense of what's going on, but like I can't really talk too deeply about it because like, I really did get kind of burned out on it. Where I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna kind of pull away for a little bit. And sometimes it's good. You know, you get stressed out. Sometimes you watch too much news, and there's really nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
So.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah. You want to dive into the...
you sent a ton of stuff to my... Yeah, the Instagram, so I don't know if you want to scroll through and see. Okay. There are a lot of things you'll say on it. You say for pod.
Okay. Well, here's one that I think I sent both you guys. There's this girl, Mercedes Cantrell, and she just launched a course on porn addiction. The only reason I follow her on Instagram is because she's hot. Yeah. She's like always like in a bikini and showing off, and like she's sexy, so I follow her, right? But she legitimately is running this course now on like porn addiction and being like an ally to men and all this stuff. And it seems very phony to me because this lady legitimately has an OnlyFans. And literally like every fifth post on her Instagram is like her ass and her like in like a thong and stuff. So it's very like contradictory that like suddenly she's like, I'm concerned about the welfare of modern men. I'm going to come in and try to help them and you know all this. And I'm like, if you're really like, you know, trying to launch this course on porn addiction, like, I don't know, maybe cancel having an OnlyFans? I would love to hear Alan's thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, she's trying to help a problem she's creating.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
it's just funny. And like if you go to like her link tree, it'll be like, you know.
It's like fighting against drunk driving and then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Driving party.
See, it's so funny. It's like her link tree. If you know, you know, guys. Porn addiction course, and then it's like apply to work with me, and then it's like VIP direct access to me. And
OnlyFans!
It's OnlyFans. Yeah.
Have you ever subscribed to an OnlyFans?
I have not, but I've been tempted a few times.
I have.
Who are some favorites?
I deleted it. I don't know. I think there were some people from high school.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, some people from high school, and then there's another chick I knew, and I'm like, I have to.
Yeah,
I just gotta see.
Ben, years ago, you said that like if there was some sort of a porn thing for like girls, you specifically know, and that's essentially what OnlyFans is.
We're ahead of the curve.
Yeah, that's why
the only girl I ever came across. The only girls I've seen that I actually knew in real life who ended up going into adult films. There was that girl Kaya we went to high school with. Do you remember her? Yeah. I remember. I think someone sent it to me this video. I'm like, oh, check it out, it's Kaya. And it's like her, like, you know, getting fisted. And, and I was like, oh shit, we went to high school with this girl. And then there was another girl. I went to my buddy Brian Desarn. He was doing an acting class downtown, and he's like, hey, you know, we're doing like this improv show. Like, come check it out. And so I went down just to, you know, be a part of the audience. And there was this girl Amber there, and I was looking at her, and she was like really attractive. And I remember talking to her after the show, and I'm like, where do I know you from? Like, where'd you go to school? Like, where do you work? You know? And we're talking, and she's like, do you watch videos? And I'm like, I watch lots of videos. And then she's like, any certain kind of videos? I'm like, I watch lots of stuff. You know, like I was like fucking naive as shit. Yeah. And then I'm like, and then she's like, I'm like looking at her, and I'm like, finally, like after like, you know, a couple minutes, I'm like, oh, she does porn. And then I looked at her, and I'm like, what's your name again?
So you look her up right when you went home?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, her name was Amber Hahn. Amber, Hahn. Shout out to Amber Hahn. Super sweet.
Do you want by her real name?
I mean, I think it's probably her porn name, but that's what she said her name is. You want to look up her stuff. But yeah, like, ridiculous body. And super nice. We talked for probably a good, like, 20 minutes. She was, like, really nice.
Wow.
So, look it up, guys, after the podcast.
Same initials.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Amber Hahn. Well, let's see what we got in the old...
This is the most recent thing you sent. Podcaster and husband fatally shot by stalker who broke into Washington home.
Crazy, yeah. Read
What is
this
this?
one.
This is sad.
This one just happened recently. I don't really know all the deets. I just saw the headline.
A podcaster and her husband was shot and killed in their Redmond, Washington home after a suspected stalker broke into the house at 1:45 a.m. Friday. The stalking suspect, 38-year-old Raman was also found dead in the house.
He's covered in noodles.
And the powder.
Yeah, in their eyes.
Redmond police responded to a report of a shooting and found 3 people dead in the house after the mother of the female victim had escaped the home and called police.
Wow.
Upon arrival, the officers found a man who lived in the house lying on the ground in the front yard with a gunshot wound to the chest. Officers attempted to perform life-saving measures, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. Inside the home, officers found the bodies of and the man's wife, who was allegedly being stalked by the suspect in the primary bedroom.
Wow.
The suspect had died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Chief Darrell Lowe said during a press conference, the suspect had broken into the house through the mother's bedroom window. According to Lowe, the suspect had an altercation with the mother before she was able to escape. Jesus.
Jeez.
I'm really surprised. I think I said this on a podcast before. I'm surprised you don't see more of that. It's like you got so many podcasts out there. You got so many OnlyFans. You got so many Twitch streamers. I'm surprised you don't have more people that are totally obsessed that are like, I'm gonna go kill them. Or like what? And I'm not encouraging this, but I'm just saying, like, I'm surprised you don't hear about that constantly.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised you don't see more people like with the popularity of scary movies, like people going in the ghost face mask and killing people like that. Like I've never heard of that happening. It's like you think that would be all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
and that's exactly what this was. The dude was like a fan of her podcast and was like trying to message her online.
Yeah.
It didn't go his way, and then he just fucking wrecks everything.
You guys have any stalker stories? I'd love to hear some stalker stories in the comments below. I think that would be super interesting. Probably creepy, but also a little flattering. A little flattering.
I want Ramen to stalk me. It seems pretty cool.
I saw a story today where I don't know where it was on, but basically this woman, her husband went missing, and the work called, couldn't find him. His car was still in the driveway, and so she called the police like a day later, like she needed to show up or whatever, and the police like searched the house, couldn't find him, and he just disappeared. Then 8 months later, she smelled something and found him in a closet.
What the
He
fuck?
killed himself. They couldn't find him.
And she never opened the closet for any reason?
I guess not. When I was reading the article, they said she's like a serious hoarder, so I'm assuming they probably couldn't get to the closet or what.
Man, I hate the idea of,
But isn't that crazy? Like your husband dies, you're mourning his death.
I want to see what that house looked like, dude.
Yeah.
Then 8 months later, you find it.
She's like, oh fuck, and the Funko Pops fell on him.
Yeah, they said it was.
A grisly scene.
That's a bummer, man.
The worst thing, slightly worse than that, is when you ever watch those videos and read those reports of like squatters living in someone's house. They're like in cellar in the attic.
Yeah.
And then you see those like Ring camera footage of them sneaking down to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And all that.
It almost seems like if you have a Ring camera in the house, it's inviting something to happen.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I remember on the podcast you talked about that. Like, it's good outside, but inside, I don't know if we need it.
Yeah,
because then people can hack them and stuff.
Yeah, people hack them, like try to talk to the kids in the house and shit.
Yeah.
It's so creepy.
Yeah, open the door.
That's so scary.
Open the door.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about on this podcast, we'll briefly mention it, that we got a Ring camera at this house because the neighbors were such pieces of shit. And we've had many altercations with them.
Shout out to the pieces of shit.
Yeah. Shout out to them because they're leaving in like half a month.
Good.
They're going to be out of here.
Good. Are they going to the Hills Have Eyes place?
I hope so. That's where they belong. So we'll finally be able to breathe in this neighborhood now. So
I just don't get people like that. Like, if no one's fucking with you, if no one's giving you a hard time, no one's infringing on your property, leave them alone.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
It's not like sad to
Yeah.
have issues with your neighbors. It's like
I know, it's
low.
it's obnoxious. Yeah. I've had a lot of. Luckily, right now the neighbors are fine, but definitely had neighbors in the past that were just fucking horrific. Or just like, what the heck? Not like that level, but still irritating as shit.
What happened?
I guess the I've talked about it on this podcast, but I guess I'll mention it again. My mom was always out like gardening and stuff a lot, and she, I guess, had problems with them. I always thought she was, like playing it up, and it wasn't really a big issue. But she said she says they have like cursed her out and stuff. And there's like 3 generations living there. There's like your grandma, and then the parents, and then actually maybe 4 now. There's a grandma, and then like parents, and then there's this dude who graduated from Saguaro, I think slightly before me, and then he has a kid. So
all successful entrepreneurs.
Yeah. And in the beginning, they would hang out like in the front yard a lot and kind of spread into the street and stuff. It was just normally fine, but I don't know. I guess my mom would be out like watering, and she like tends to all of her plants out there, and they'd I don't know, they'd just be rude or whatever. I didn't really think much of it until there was one day I came home from work and we were just like watching something on the TV in the living room, and he was playing catch with his son, this dude. His name was Kylie. He's a dude, his name is Kylie. He was playing catch with his son, with a football, and it was like right in front of our house. They always like use the front of our house. Mm-hmm. They park there a lot, even though like the front of their house would be empty. They'd park intentionally like right in front of our house. Mm-hmm. And then for a while I started parking in front of our house, like right up against their house to like try and stop that shit. It just became like petty. Yeah. But yeah, they were playing football, playing catch right outside of our house, and the ball was like hitting our door, like over and over and over again. It was, and then the kid would come up and get it like right to our door, and it was like a nice night, so we had the inside door open to like let the air in. So this ball was just fucking like hitting our door multiple times, and we were just like trying to watch TV or whatever. So I'd never spoken a word to these guys before, and so I was like, all right, I'll go out and try to talk to them. And I was like as nice as could be. I was like, hey guys. The ball seems to be like, coming up to our yard, and could you guys like kind of move down in front of your house? And the dude was immediately like, you want to fucking fight, faggot, you piece of shit, fuck you. He's like, yeah, it's like fucking insane. Yeah. Fuck? And so I was just like, forget it. And then we like called the cops on him, and then we installed the Ring camera after that. And since then, there's been no issues. But apparently my mom said that they like try to like peek in our backyard and shit sometimes. It's fucking insane. Exactly.
Did you say that guy's like a piece of shit ex-con?
Yeah, he has like a lot of priors he's been in jail for.
Well, hopefully he fucks up and messes with someone and goes back to jail.
I really hope so.
Yeah, back to where he belongs. But
they're leaving, so
just people like that, like just change and quit harassing. Like, if you want to be a tough guy, go be tough to someone that's like giving you actual shit. Yeah. Don't fuck with your neighbors. I know, like you have to live next to these people, and also like Emmett's mom's like a sweetheart. Yeah. Like I just don't get people like that. Like, if you're gonna go be a hard ass with someone who actually deserves it. Yeah. I don't get the logic or the lack thereof.
No, it's insane. It's fucking insane. Yeah.
Well, hopefully they'll be far away and I can go take up the ass somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
But crazy stuff, man. Yeah, crazy stuff.
They're leaving, so that's good.
Yeah, well,
this will be a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, that'll be good.
There's still all this going back to the email. It's still UFO stuff. Pentagon UFO chief says there's a UFO chief. Ooh. Says alien mothership in our solar system is possible. What the fuck?
Wow, this is amazing, and this is like legit. Like I saw this on multiple sites. Yeah, there's like this one, Military Times, but I saw this like from freaking like ABC. Yeah, like so Alan's gonna actually be our informant when he goes in.
Yeah, I was about to say the Military Times will be writing for him soon.
Yeah, but it's gotten to the point, especially after the whole Chinese balloon debacle, where they shot down a couple different unidentified flying objects. Yeah. We never got like any like definitive answer on what they were. Yeah. And it's just like, what were those? Yeah. And it's like, so now they're saying like, oh, there's a possibility. This is coming from the fucking military. They're like, there could be a mothership in our solar system, and things are coming down and investigating. And I'm like, what?
Insane. What? There is a possibility that extraterrestrial motherships and smaller probes may extraterrestrial. They're literally they're calling them motherships.
It's a real. This is real. Google it.
Smaller probes may be visiting planets in our solar system. The head of the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Research Office noted in a report draft shared Tuesday, an artificial interstellar object could possibly potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during its close passage to Earth. An operational construct not too dissimilar from NASA missions. Sean Kirkpatrick, director of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, wrote in a research report co-authored by Abraham Loeb, chairman of Harvard University's Astronomy Department. Kirkpatrick, who was appointed as director of the ARROW when it was founded in July 2022. So this is all like new stuff. Yeah. They're really branching out with the alien stuff. Mm-hmm. Previously served as the chief scientist at the Defense Intelligence Agency's Missile and Space Intelligence Center. The ARROW was established to investigate unidentified objects of interest around military installations, according to the Pentagon press release. Loeb, on the other hand, gained notoriety when he proposed our solar system had been traversed by its first extrasolar visitor. That's cool. In October 2017. At the time, the Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii detected an object moving at a speed that caused some scientists to suggest that it originated outside our system.
And one thing with this is like, I know Rogan said this, and a bunch of people have said this. Those Tic Tac ones from quite a few years ago that they finally released and they showed the footage of. It was when like the naval pilots caught those like crazy moving ones. Yeah. like that's released, like that's to the public, and you have the pilot saying like, we don't know what this is. This is crazy. That's what they're showing the public. Like that's literally like tip of the iceberg. Like how much more does the government have that's like confidential that they're not telling us about?
Yeah, it's insane.
Like what's going on?
Trump released a bunch of classified documents regarding that, and then there's like stuff like material they found that they're like this didn't come from Earth. Basically, the material that is here, we don't know what this material is. But it's also crazy that no one seems to care.
I know.
What do you think that would be like
I know.
headline number one? But no one gives a shit.
That's what we've been saying.
Again,
It's so bizarre. Yeah, like I feel like if that would have been like 20 years ago, it'd be like front page news. Like, hey, like everybody, stop what you're doing. Like we've got some serious like potential proof of life outside of Earth that like people have been looking for since the dawn of man.
Yeah.
And just like people are like, oh, whatever. Who got or who's dating Kim Kardashian now? Like who got slapped at the Oscars? Like, you know what I mean? It's like
it's crazy.
it's insane, dude. And
I would think that would be like number one.
you would think, normally, super weird.
But the other thing people are saying is like, why are they giving us all this information now? What are they trying to hide? People think it's like a redirection. Yeah, a deterrent. So, but I don't know. I mean, it's still obviously true and fucking insane. So,
What's a lot of the objects too that like the balloon that got shot down. The little objects that were shot. The reason that there are so many is because Biden was trying to make up for the fact that the balloon traversed the whole continental United States, so he's embarrassed.
Caught it at the end.
So then there's like all these like just things floating in the sky, and so they're shooting it. One of them they spent like it was like a $400,000 missile, and they shot another balloon, and it ended up being just a $12 balloon from like Party City or something.
My God!
And because it's someone, I guess it's a hobby to where
Sounds about right.
people put like trackers on balloons and send. It's like a hobby of people.
Yeah.
And so the guy's like,
An
that was
actual
my
balloon.
Yeah, the guy's like, that was my balloon. I'm like,
He's like,
fucking
I
idiot.
expect reimbursement.
just a helium balloon with Spider-Man on it.
Yeah.
Getting blown up.
Shoot it down.
Yeah. Tax dollars at work, guys.
Good job, Biden.
You know what I'm really surprised we haven't had? Think back to the Boston Tea Party. Taxation without representation. People flipping out, people getting up in arms. We're getting reamed now on our taxes. Like, it's shitty, and I feel like our tax dollars are being put towards things that we don't have a say in, that we don't agree on.
Like the balloons.
Like the balloons. Like the missile shooting down the balloons. Like, millions of dollars going to Ukraine, millions of dollars going to a whole bunch of different countries that don't give a shit about us.
Yeah.
And it's like, the wasteful spending of the government is absolutely ridiculous, and a huge majority of that is our tax money. And it's like, I'm surprised there hasn't been like an uprising like what we saw on January 6th and like things like that.
Yeah.
But for things that actually are like relevant, like taxes, like people being like, you know what, fuck you. Like I'm really surprised you haven't seen that. It seems like people get up in arms more about like social things or what they deem to be like social injustices, and they get riled up.
Yeah.
And it's like then you have other things that affect everyone. They're like, yeah, that's just how it is. And it's like, it's kind of weird. It's kinda weird,
Odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard Gavin Newsom, California governor, he is pushing. I think it passed. I think it passed in like one of their houses reparations.
What?
Yeah, I saw it today.
Wow.
Or like Gavin Newsom's.
I'm like, look at like,
Look,
dude,
Gavin
that's
dipshit.
fucking insane.
That's wacky, man.
Which
That's
is
wacky.
like, at what point?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, we gave. I saw a comment too. They're like, we gave reparations to the Japanese after World War II. Yeah, because they were directly affected from internment camps. Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
like it's a little different. Like being like 5 generations removed, as opposed to like actually being put in a camp and like, oh, my bad. Let me give you money to.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I get it. Like bad things have happened in the past, but at what point do we say, okay, look back at the history and learn from it? But like, it doesn't affect people who are born in the '90s. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it's kind of you got to move on at some point. I don't know.
Well, I just don't know what it's supposed to accomplish. Imagine I give it's like okay, I give you a lump sum of money. Okay, now are we good now? Like you don't bring it up anymore?
Yeah.
Like we're good? Or I mean, I can't imagine like if the problem is like, hey, the poverty or whatever is because of in California is because of slavery, which never even happened in California.
doesn't
it
make
wasn't
sense.
even a state at the time.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
But like maybe it's just because these people don't know how to manage. Like, do you think giving someone, it's like giving a homeless guy $10,000? Do you think that's going to solve his issue?
Yeah, right.
No, he's like
He's gonna party though.
yeah. It's like I don't know.
But that's like you hear people all the time. Are you on Twitter at all?
Ish.
Yeah, I mean it's
Like-
a cesspool. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But people on there all the time give the argument that like some finite amount of money can just like solve all the world's hunger
Yeah,
issues.
yeah.
It's like that's the dumbest thing you could possibly think. It's not gonna.
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna solve it for a certain amount of time, and everything's gonna immediately go back to normal.
Yeah.
The way it was.
And it's crazy with the homeless situation, like the homeless video I did a few months ago. Like, there were people in the comments that were making some very valid points. There were people that were like very optimistic, like, oh, we got to change things, we got to help these people get a place for them to live, and I get that argument. There's other people that are like, it's just like this ongoing cycle. Like, it's like you throw money at it, and like the problem just gets bigger in some cases. So it's like I see both sides of the argument, but like what's going on right now is not working.
No, not at all. It's terrible.
In one of the states, I think it was Texas, like Austin, they took a hotel and they they put homeless people, thinking like, because their problem isn't that they're that's not the fucking issue. That's not the root cause of their issue. So if you just throw them in a home, their problems aren't going to be solved.
They're going to be homeless in the home.
Yeah, and basically you throw them in a bunch of homeless people, drug addicted homeless people in a hotel. What do you think's going to happen?
Piss all over.
You think their life's going to be flipped around? They become a CEO of a company? Like, how do you think
This is the thing.
Give this man a raise.
But I think that's the argument of the reparations thing. Like, if it weren't for slavery, I'd be like a billionaire. My friend. It's like, no. No one knows. It's like we're arguing on these, these points of conjecture that are just like what ifs that none of it really matters. They're just tangible.
Time for one more commercial break, and we'll get you some reparations after this break.
You're reaching deep inside you for things you've never known. It's been tough, rough going, but you haven't gone alone.
We do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Think all that you can
Hey, First Sergeant. Good morning.
find your future in the army.
I'm from a town where things are as good as they come, and it's pictured in my mind just as clear as the midday sun. Now I'm out here in the darkness, and the rain is coming down. Never was like this in my hometown. My hometown. It's not like this, but that's alright with me. See, I'm out here for my hometown, 'cause freedom isn't free. We walk through the wind, we move through the rain, we ride the skies above to make this world a better place for the ones we love. And freedom, oh freedom, I gladly pay the price, 'cause you can't have your freedom without sacrifice. My hometown is not like this, but that's alright with me. See, I'm out here for my hometown, 'cause freedom isn't free.
Welcome back from that brief but needed intermission. Hope you guys enjoyed those retro commercials.
So you sent this to the pod with the subtext saying "classic baller move."
Alright.
Tiger Woods' ex-girlfriend is alleging he tricked her into thinking they were going on vacation before finding out she had been dumped and kicked out of the house. And so he got her to like pack up and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Isn't that amazing?
that's really funny.
So basically what happened, I watched a little, there's this guy, like, you guys should definitely subscribe to him. I think I've sent him to you guys before. Keeping It Keith is the name of his YouTube channel. Keeping It Keith. And he's just super funny. He does a lot of, like, very Unfazed style, like, social commentary type videos. He's kind of like Rich Cooper, but a little more comedic. And I watched his video, and it was so freaking funny. Basically, he was like, he's been with this chick for like 6 years, and I guess, he got fed up with her in whatever way, and was like, all right, we're gonna break up. But instead of having a big scene at their house in his $10 million mansion, he's like, all right, let's just say we're going on a trip. And he had like his team, because obviously a guy that rich has like drivers and stuff. Took her to the airport, and he said like pack for a short trip. So she has like one bag with her, and then like calls her and like, hey, we're done. And now she's like, of course, classic. You making all these sexual assault allegations and all the classic
because suddenly she's out on the street with one suitcase.
The classic bitchy girl who was wronged move immediately just starts lying about the guy. Like it's like from the playbook,
Yeah.
But I thought that was hilarious. Let's see what else we got.
You said we've been saying this for years.
Oh yeah. So this is when you guys can attest. So we've been saying this for years. Finally, people seem to be wising up. After the success of The Last of Us, it may have truly broken the Hollywood curse of video game adaptations and has already been renewed for a second season. So now people are saying, hey, Red Dead Redemption 2. That would be a great, thing to like make into an adaptation. I know some people say, well, I don't know if it's too big of a game to turn into a show.
Yeah.
But I would love to see them try.
Yeah. I don't know. That stuff freaks me out. Have either of you been watching The Last of Us show?
Yeah,
I watched it.
I've seen it up to the last episode.
What'd you think?
I've only watched
so far. It's good.
I've only watched the first episode.
Fast forward through the gay episode. I was like fast forward. I pause it. I'm like, there must be something going on. I pause it. There's two old dudes kissing. And he's like rubbing his hairy chest. They're like laying in bed.
I think that was behind the scenes on the Unfazed podcast.
Nice. Yeah, that's coming up on the next one. You guys are getting some wild stuff.
But it's a good show.
Had you played the game or did you just watch it? Okay.
I didn't even know it was a video game.
Okay. Yeah.
Until
I played a little bit of the game, but my attention span with games, I think I quit after like 2 days.
Yeah.
I was just kind of whatever. I'm sure it's good, but
Yeah.
I was at the time way more into Uncharted, and then I think Red Dead Redemption just buries it.
This stuff just worries me just as the mediums that they are. I said this before, but I'll say it again. Especially Naughty Dog games like The Last of Us and Uncharted, those are games that are trying to be cinematic. They're trying to be like film. So it seems like a retrograde going backwards to like then make them shows or then make them movies.
I get that, yeah.
And something like Red Dead Redemption 2 is already so perfect as is. I don't think we need another iteration of it. That's fucking.
There's so much going on.
Yeah.
It's like it's not just like one
huge epic,
basic linear story. It's like you got all these different things, and it's this whole big world, open world you can explore. So it would be very. Oh, they almost should go back to the original Red Dead Revolver and do it like as a basic story.
Yeah.
And then like season 1's Red Dead Revolver, season 2's Red Dead Redemption, season 3's Red Dead Redemption 2, and then pick like one story from that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't know.
And then the other thing is like the acting in Red Dead Redemption 2 is so like masterful. Like every character is perfect. And like seeing any other iteration of those characters even would just be like weird. And I don't know. It's just that's like, and that's the thing that happens with entertainment. Unfortunately, is that if something is bad, people don't then try to make it good, which like should be the way with the creative mind. You shouldn't want to like fix it, but no, they take something that's already perfect. It's like, the Mona Lisa, and everyone tries to make their own Mona Lisa to like make more money off of it. But of course you can't make it as good as the first one.
You should take a shitty doodle and try
exactly. Which is like, what they try to do with Star Wars and everything else that you see, and all those Ghostbuster remakes and shit. Like,
make a bad
people like this, so let's try to do it again, but it's like, it never works out.
And it just, it makes it less valuable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
One thing I would like to see, though, and this was like an old school Unfazed post, I think. I could be wrong. I'd have to check the Instagram, but I think this was before the channel existed. And it was just when it was Unfazed Review as a blog and Instagram. I did this thing on shows that should be HBO shows, and it was The Warriors. I thought would be cool, doing like the origin of the gangs, kind of like they did in the video game, in the Rockstar game. And then what else did I pick? I think I did something with The Shining, like kind of following up on like kind of like a Dr. Sleep type spin, or like something else with the Stanley Hotel. And I can't remember what the other one was. I'd have to go back and dig into the Instagram. But I've been thinking this type of stuff for a long time, that there's so many other franchises and games and stuff that would be really well equipped to be on HBO.
Yeah, absolutely. So but they would, again, those are all like wonderful what ifs, but
Yeah.
it's only if it's like a surefire IP.
Exactly.
You have to have, everything has to have a big name attached to it.
Mm-hmm. I know we've said this so many
So
times,
sad.
and every fucking channel says this, but like, maybe try something new.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
you know, maybe just, you know, crazy idea here.
Like the example I always give is like, why doesn't like Michael Bay or someone try to remake Plan 9 from Outer Space?
Yeah,
It's like you can make that cool. We have the effects now. It's like trying to take something shitty and actually like make it good.
Yeah.
But no one, of course, ever does that.
Some of those bad Ed Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just anything that like wasn't great but could have been great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what would be a cool one was, it was actually a good movie for the time. It was Errol Flynn, and he was like this like pirate. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was like, the name's escaping me, but like Red Sails or something like that. And it was like this epic like freaking pirate movie from like the 1930s. And it was very cheesy for the time, but it was good. It was entertaining. And I'd love to see something like that redone. It's like, 'cause you saw how successful like, Pirates of the Caribbean was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine doing something like that now. You know? But there's endless stuff they could do. Definitely.
Yeah. And actually, we'll get back to the Gmail in a second. But I wanted to mention, because you don't know this, I went to the Renaissance Festival on Saturday.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. But I knew you were working. But I didn't know until the last minute that it was only on the weekends, which kind of sucked. But honestly, like, I'm glad we didn't do it, because I've never seen it. We've talked about this a lot. I've never seen it more packed in my life.
That sucks.
And Arizona is getting so filled. It was just even like the space in front of the actual festival to get in was like this huge, thick mass of people. And have you ever been to the Renfest?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like, even inside the park itself, you couldn't see like across the trails because it was so dense with people.
Damn.
It was fucking insane.
That is one thing I say, you know, and we mentioned it in Universal. It's like overcrowding is a big fucking problem. It's like they need to be like, hey, instead of being so greedy, like let's cut it at like 10,000 people or whatever the number is. Yeah. Instead of saying, okay, you know, now these people are going to be uncomfortable and they're going to be like shoulder to shoulder, like that kills the vibe.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
insane.
let's say the park capacity, you know, for Universal is, you know, hypothetically 30,000 people. Cut it at 30,000.
Yeah.
It seemed like you were like, you know, packed like sardines.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure it was the same at the
there were long lines for everything, long lines for the bathroom, for the ATM, for just if you want like water, long fucking line. I was like, to a point, this becomes like, it's not worth it anymore. Yeah. And I've heard that same thing, with Universal and Disneyland, is that they're always fucking packed. Which, first of all, is like, everyone says like, you know, after COVID, everyone had this itch to go and do these things because they couldn't for so long.
Not an excuse anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's been so long. Like, aren't we past that? It's just weird. There is. Well, I think I think a lot of it's our pop culture, because I know for Disney, like they're shoveling out shit, so they're constantly like in the forefront of everyone's mind. So everyone wants to go to Disneyland because it's like popular. You know, it's the thing to do.
I would like to go, but the crowd thing is
it's not worth it anymore.
The thing is, if you go to any park, Alan and I found this, and Emma and I saw this too. You absolutely 100% have to do the front line passes now, because if you don't, you're not going to see it. Like it's like
you're gonna waste your day.
Yeah, you're gonna waste your day. So it's like if you go, like plan on spending like 3 times as much as you expected, because like otherwise it's not gonna be worth your time.
Yeah, I mean,
and it seems like raising of the prices like hasn't affected anybody. Like, you think some people would be like, oh, we can't swing it, you know, so the crowds, you know, would be a little smaller. It seems like nobody gives a fuck. Like people are just like, man, let's go.
How much was Universal? It was like 200, right?
For us, it was like 265 each, just for
the regular.
The regular. No, we did the regular. No, we did front of line for daytime. But for the nighttime, we did the standard, and I think those were affordable. Those were like $80. Those were good. But
265 for the
265 for daytime, each. So that's, you know, whatever. They did the math on that, 500 something. But next time we go, because I do want to do the horror nights again. But I would say scrap the day, forget about it, fuck it, and just pay extra money for front of line and the horror nights at nighttime. Yeah. Because they still have some of the rides open, like Jurassic World and the Mummy and things like that. So I would say that's better for sure.
Oh, there's a cat.
Oh, I was hoping.
Sometimes Snurry comes in.
Oh, that's crazy at the Red Festival, though, man.
Yeah, dude, and it wasn't even close to any of the previous years. And I'd gone like a couple of years ago. Yeah, this was like just it was like never seen it this bad. It was crazy.
That blows, man.
Yeah. So we were gonna do a podcast, or not a podcast. We were gonna do a vlog of it this year.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I'm glad I missed it.
Yeah, maybe next time.
The crowds, they can get irritated. That was one thing that I really fucking loved about New Mexico, guys. When I went, you can see it in those vlogs. It was not nearly as crowded as here. And it's like, you know, I'm not saying I planning to move to New Mexico anytime soon, but when you do visit those places, like, it's just refreshing.
Yeah.
So that yearning for a smaller town is real.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We talked about this earlier, but I don't think on the pod.
Sure.
This post, overnight success. Yes, I think a lot of you guys have heard of this. This blew up. The internet is amazing. This author spent 14 years writing a single book. Better be good. Barely any sales in the last decade. His daughter makes one TikTok and it gets 36 million views. Now, #1 serial killer book plus #7 book overall on Amazon. Just wild. Yeah.
It was very heartwarming.
Wow.
And she's like, check out my dad's book, guys. Check it out.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, like, it was actually a heartwarming story.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was actually
very
really nice. Like, it was like this dude, and he was like this, like, just nice, typical older dad, and he was like teary-eyed talking about like he wanted to be an author forever, and like now he's like a bestseller. Like, it was pretty cool. So the power of social media when used right can be really good.
Hey, my dad's an older man who has 5 books or 6 books published now.
Make a TikTok.
Yeah, we gotta make a TikTok. I just need to grow breasts, and then
there we go.
I'll get him some sales.
There we go. Yeah. Any book you recommend in particular for the crew that they could check out? We could link it.
Yeah, he has 2 new ones out now that we're actually going to have him on a podcast to talk about, I think. He had the one that we've talked about before, but he has it in like actual book form now. It's called War of the Words, which is about like the treachery of using words in improper context that's used politically to like the word hate and all that stuff doesn't actually mean hate anymore.
It's
stuff like that.
hijacked.
Yeah, and it's really well written. And I know I'm obviously biased, but like I think like everyone these days, I struggle to concentrate on reading things, but I was actually able to like read the whole thing.
That's good.
And then he, on the complete other end of things, he wrote a book called The Seinfeld Concordance.
Amazing.
And we'll link him down below. And
I want a copy of that.
Yeah, it's like a definitional text of every real world reference that's made in Seinfeld. So there's like 2 halves of it. It's like by the episode, every real world reference, and then the second half is sort of the reverse, where it's by the reference.
Is that going to have volumes, like Volume 2, Volume 3?
I think he did all of it already.
That's insane.
Yeah, he's been working on it for a while.
That's insane. Well, good. Kudos to him, man, because that's incredible.
Yeah, so you can check those out. But,
wow. Yeah, links below, guys. Check them out. But that's super cool. What's the last book you read, Alan? Like, actually read? I guess we could say audiobooks, too.
Oh, yeah, I've been listening to an audiobook. I don't know, I think I started reading David Goggins.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Goggins.
Yeah,
Goggins is very inspiring.
I'm a big fan of Goggins.
I mean, I can't get through books. I'm not good at it.
I'm the same.
So I think I got like
it's tough.
Almost halfway through, and then I just never picked it up again.
Yeah, I'm about as I know everyone says that. Like, I'm so ADD, but like I think I legitimately am. Like, I'm trying to get through it, and I'm like, I can't. Like,
I can get through nonfiction much better than I can fiction.
Same.
Yeah. Nonfiction is just way more. I mean, if it's good, obviously.
Yeah.
But even like the best fiction is like it can be like this is good, and then halfway through I'm just like I'm done.
Yeah.
Even if it's good, it's like weird.
Yeah.
I have this thing where instead of actually like absorbing the content and appreciating it, I'm just more focused on finishing it and saying I read it.
Yeah. It's like when you read a book, I'm like, this is how much I've read. Like, you feel accomplished when you're reading it. You're like, I gotta.
Yeah. The only books I ever read where I truly was like into them and wanted to read more were books by Bret Easton Ellis. American Psycho I really enjoyed, and Less Than Zero. Mm-hmm. And then when I was a kid, like, junior high, The Outsiders. That was one I thoroughly enjoyed, and like it like played in my head in like a satisfying way where I'm like, I actually enjoy reading. Yeah. But like I haven't enjoyed reading in like over a decade. Like, I feel like it's just become a chore, which I hate to say, and I know it's like heartbreaking for some people, but like I love audiobooks though. Like Audible, I'm a big fan of. Like one I did recently was Bachelor Pad Economics. That was a good audiobook I listened to. I'm trying to think of the other one. I did Norm Macdonald's bio, based on a true story. Which
that was fun, yeah.
So I've done a few recently that were enjoyable, but it's got to be something special,
But we shouldn't feel bad because the generation behind us is like infinitely worse. Emily has some younger cousins who she mentioned like a few months ago that they struggle to even watch movies. Like they don't. And then I saw like I was going on a dive on YouTube of videos about like how TikTok and those things affect your attention span.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I saw this big news spot about how it's like a big phenomenon with kids, even 5 or 10 years younger than us who struggle to like sit through a movie and focus. It's getting like exponentially worse.
Yeah, because they're used to like these like 15 to 30
Yeah, they used to
second.
fucking TikTok, so they can't watch a movie. It's like,
Before we get off the Audible thing, I actually was on Audible last night and I had like a bunch of credits accumulated because like I hadn't used it in forever. And I saw they uncovered, it was an Audible exclusive, they uncovered the script for Alien 3, which I guess was never like released.
Yeah,
because it was like Alien and Aliens and then Alien Resurrection or something like that, or Requiem or one of those. But it was Alien 3 and it was like unproduced, but Michael Biehn and like some other people from the original cast came in and they brought it to life in Audible.
Wow.
And it's like a brand new like Audible
That's
exclusive.
sick.
So I think that's right up your alley.
Check that out, yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
I added it to my library and I was like, fuck yeah.
That'll
be cool. That'll be cool.
The last Audible that I read, I mean, the Star Wars ones are so fucking fun.
Yeah.
You get like all the effects and stuff.
I do have Shadows of the Empire in my one.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
You should check out one of the best like Star Wars audibles I listened to was called Allegiance. I told you a little bit about it.
I think you did, yeah.
It was the writing was so good. There was like 3 different stories. It was like a 3-pronged thing, and then they all came to a head. It was really exciting.
Like a Seinfeld script.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was the original trio. It was Luke, Han, and Leia, and it takes place right after A New Hope.
Okay.
And they're doing their own thing. It's been a while since I've read it. The other thing with the other thing with audiobooks and reading books, like it gets out of my head so quick, unless it's like really impactful.
Exactly.
Certain small things will stay with me forever, but otherwise, like it's all gone. But
yeah,
I remember the basic gist was that it was the trio just after A New Hope, and then it was this group of rogue stormtroopers that had gotten into and it wasn't even like they were like, I'm going to change my ways. It wasn't something lame like that, or like, I'm going to be a good stormtrooper. Yeah. They got into like this dispute with an officer or something, and the officer pulled a gun on them. And it got like really heated, and they shot the officer, and then they're like, "Oh fuck, we're gonna get like executed for this." And so they go rogue.
Wow,
that's cool. Yeah, so it's like these rogue stormtroopers.
That right there would have been a better movie than any
Yeah.
Like 8 years.
And then there's this there's like this Sith assassin that's on. It's like a woman, Mara Jade, who's on her own, doing her own thing. But they're basically like the rogue stormtroopers, and then Luke and Han and Leia slowly like link up in this. Like by accident, and they're in this situation where like it's mutually beneficial for them to like work together and get out. And it was really well written. All the scenes with Han and Luke and all them, it really like the writing is so good. It really feels like those characters.
Wow,
and that is
that's a rarity.
Yeah. I just I saw it like it felt like I was like listening to a scene from one of the original trilogy movies. And the writing was so good. It was just such an exciting. Cool plot.
Fiction's a tough one for me to get into because most of the books I read are like biographies and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's tough, but that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'll check that out.
Cool.
You should definitely check out the Alien one though. It was like just added like within the last like, couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm checking it out.
Pretty cool shit, Alan.
Yeah. Well, did you ever look at any of that stuff as a kid? Because you said you were an original Star Wars fan. Like any of those books or comics, or from way back when, not the new stuff.
Oh, I was just joking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I knew you were joking about the new Star Wars.
No, I don't like Star Wars. I've never been a fan. I think I just didn't grow up with it. So I think
Okay.
If you didn't grow up with it and you watch it now, you see how cheesy it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to grow up with it to have that nostalgia. But
meanwhile,
I tried to watch like the fourth. I've never seen it. I'm like, this is so fucking stupid.
That's great.
Meanwhile, I made Ben sit down with me and watch episode 3 a few weeks ago.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Because I got it, and I totally get where Alan's coming from. That's how my dad is. So my dad was like a little too old when the first one came out, so where he was like, yeah, it was a good movie, but he's like, but he checked out by Empire Strikes Back. He's like, I'm not into it. He's just not a Star Wars guy.
Okay. That's okay.
And but me on the other hand, I remember getting those when I was like 3 or 4, like very early, like when you start like just retaining memories. And I remember my Uncle Brian, shout out to Uncle Brian. You met Uncle Brian. Yeah, super nice guy. He got me, for Christmas or birthday when I was real little, the trilogy of the original Star Wars and then the Indiana Jones trilogy.
Perfect.
Like, as a gift. And he's like, here you go.
We had a very similar early childhood. I had the exact same box set that you had, where it's like half of the face, half Yoda, half of the Stormtrooper, and half of Vader.
Actually, I didn't have those. I had the ones with the, I'll send you a picture. Okay. But it was the posters, essentially.
Oh,
it was like the... It didn't come in a box. It had like almost like a half box that they went in, and then each one had like the poster art on.
Oh, that's sick.
They were pretty sick. Yeah, I'll show you. They're pretty cool. But I remember watching those like when I was like 4, like before I could read, and I remember just like looking at the pictures, like some early memories, and being like looking at the one with the snow, and I'd be like, all right, I didn't know that was like Empire.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, I want to watch this one.
Yes,
and like picking like particularly, like so I totally get that. If you didn't grow up with that, like I see how you could look at it like, cheesy.
Yeah.
But like if you watch them as a little kid, like as your first experience with movies, they're like so fucking awe-inspiring. And like those in Indiana Jones, I was held in like equal esteem, you know, because I watched those growing up and like wanted to be Indiana Jones and thought like Luke was such a badass.
Yeah.
And then I thoroughly enjoyed Phantom Menace, you know, as a kid. Like I remember having that on VHS and watching the shit out of it. And then I saw, you know, Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith on the big screen as a kid, but I wasn't as like enamored with those. But I still enjoyed them. I saw them on the big screen. But now I look back and I love them all.
Yeah.
But I was always a real purist for the original trilogy, though.
I had Temple of Doom on Betamax.
Wow.
You watched that? Yeah.
Holy shit. That's intense, man. Yeah, and the first R-rated movie I remember watching as a kid, like uncut, and I was like, oh, I fucking love this. I was probably way too young, but I don't care. I was 5, and my dad rented the Terminator, the original Terminator.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that, and like that's like where my love of movies sparked.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from Star Wars, I remember seeing the first Terminator and being like, holy shit, like, this is something
sick.
special.
That's
Like,
super sick, yeah.
So I was always an Arnold fanatic.
That's cool. I had a horrific time with the R-rated movies because my parents were divorced and my mom was super strict about nothing beyond whatever my age was, and then my dad was like, watch whatever you want. So it was like highly, just my mom, would only let me watch like kids stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just like
And you go to
highly
Beans
strict.
and
So I'd seen all this like pure kids stuff, and then suddenly I would see like Chainsaw Massacre, and it was like fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And then I'd see only kids stuff, and I'd see like The Ring. I remember The Ring. That scared the fuck out of me
Ring
for
was
like
great.
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, in our household, my parents were very lax with that, especially my dad. It would be like, watch whatever you want, like very cool, which I appreciated because I watched a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But what was it like with you, Alan? Because I feel like it was. What was your
Similar to Emmett, I mean, my parents were pretty strict. They didn't let me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what my first R-rated movie was. I think, but yeah, They didn't let me watch The Simpsons. Never seen The Simpsons.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's probably good though. Makes you a little less twisted.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm probably the most twisted out of the group. What would be your guys' rules? Let's say 10 years down the road, you got a little Alan, you got a little Emmett. What would be your introduction? I feel like personally, I would like kind of force my childhood on them a little bit. I'd be like, all right, you're watching Star Wars and Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'd probably like give them like the basic technology too. I'd like leave the Sega plugged in.
Yeah, same exactly.
Like that's what you grew up with.
I'd start them with Super Nintendo and go from there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like as far as like the R rating and stuff, like I might be like a little more careful with some stuff, but most of it I'd probably be like, yeah, watch what you want.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe if I had a daughter, it'd be like kind of like, yeah, maybe not. It depends. It depends. You'd have to feel it out. You have to see how mature the kid was too.
Yeah.
I think generally you want to recreate your childhood for the
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like the fun of
I
it.
feel like if you showed them a movie that you really love, like Star Wars, and they hate it,
That would suck.
that
Then
break
I
your
throw
heart.
them out.
Yeah, I'd be like,
When they're dead to me.
this was all a waste.
Let's try again. Another kid.
Yeah, I'd be like, wow, what a fucking loser. That's when you stop feeding him.
If he doesn't love Shadows of the Empire, he's gone.
Lost
Get him
cause,
out.
man. Lost cause. Can you imagine having a kid, Alan? They don't like Back to the Future.
I don't know. I feel like at that, because it is Back to the Future is cheesy too. I just grew up with it.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I feel
It's
like
very similar to Star Wars, so in that sense, where it's like
Yeah.
you grow up with it, you have a very special love for it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back to the Future is the same. I hope it's the same esteem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one gets it. I mean, people who watch it in adulthood.
Yeah, it's
So
weird.
now,
For the first time.
no, I'm scared. What do you think about Harry Potter?
I like Harry Potter.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Harry Potter's fun.
I've only seen like I think the first 2.
Okay.
I like the ride.
Yeah, the ride's fun.
We've been
with ride. Yeah. Talk about the ride. Talk about the ride.
Oh, dude, okay. So
I don't think this made it onto the vlog, but here's a little behind the scenes.
well, me and Ben, we went on the ride the first day. It was really fun. So I'm like, let's go on it again. So I think was it at night? I think it was at night.
We went at night. Yeah.
So we went on it again at night, and then we were like strapped in, and you can't pick up your hands. Like the straps are pretty intense. So my arms are here, but so we're on the ride, and then it gets stuck, and then the announcer, whatever, is like a pre-recorded announcement, basically telling us to stay calm and
Oh my gosh.
stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like a new ride.
And I'm like, and I start flipping out. I'm like grabbing Ben's leg. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking. I just don't like.
And also the part where it got stuck was with one of the Dementors right in our face.
Oh my god.
Like it was like literally like from here. I mean, probably realistically from here to the camera. Like far enough away we're not going to get hurt, but like
was the hologram still there?
It wasn't
It's
a
a-
hologram.
it's a-
It's a real. It was
Oh
a real
my
animatronic.
Animatronic.
Holy
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like literally like, and like it's literally like there, and it's stuck in front of us, and we're like in the darkness like this. So it's like we're like looking up, maybe from here to the ceiling fan, and we're like, oh, it looks like it sucks. It was so scary. And then we did it again, and Alan's like, and we both have anxiety, so we're both kind of freaking out a little bit, but we're good. You know, it start after like another maybe minute and a half, it starts up again. And then we're cool. It goes for another like minute, and then it gets stuck again. And it's where one of the, I think that part was with like one of the trees, one of the tree branches.
The lumping ones?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Both of like the most terrifying parts. I really like when it could reach out and almost touch it. You know.
Holy shit.
But yeah, that was an exercise in
It was very claustrophobic. That's what it is. It's claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Like you're stuck in there, and so I can't move my arms. I'm like, okay.
That's why I hate roller coasters and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that like started. Ever since then, I like have a fear of claustrophobia.
Oh shit!
Like I try to take the stairs instead of the elevators now.
Really?
Because I'm like
Harry Potter affected you.
Yeah, dude. I didn't know how like claustrophobic I was until then. I was like,
Claustrophobic Wiki Wonga.
Oh my god.
Oh, Hermione.
Yeah,
I love Hermione.
It's a fun ride. Other than that, I'm not.
Did you drink some butterbeer? You got a wand or anything?
Yeah, I drink butterbeer.
Butterbeer was dude. The butterbeer was delicious.
Yeah.
You haven't had a butterbeer, have you?
No, I haven't.
We gotta take it. Okay, this year you're coming to Horror Nights. I can't believe it. We're going to Horror Nights. The butterbeer, dude, it's delicious. It's so. It's like it tastes like I didn't want to tell you.
I want to be Harry
You'd be
Potter.
surprised. Or you'd be
I
surprised.
was
It's
like
like
that new game, you know, the new Harry Potter game.
Yeah, I heard
fucking
it looks like a blast.
I heard.
I was actually very tempted to get it.
You
I was
should
like
get it.
looking
You
at it.
should
Recently.
get
I was
it.
at Target a couple nights ago, and I was like, I should just buy it.
You should get it.
Okay, maybe I'll get it.
It's really good.
Let it go.
The Harry Potter land was my favorite.
It was
Yeah.
so much
It's
fun.
freaking like, yeah, it's very realistic.
So much fun.
So cool.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job on that. One thing I wish they would add, I wish they would have more of like a Jurassic World experience, and then I wish there was more love for the Mummy as well. Because like it's so like stuck in just like that one little area.
Mummy is it's unchanged for like 20
It's
years.
so good.
Yeah.
But I would love to go in and like I wish there was just like a whole wing that was like walking through like an Egyptian market or something.
Yeah,
That's
like-
really cool.
And then also another thing they leave out, like obviously King Kong is like a universal character.
Jimmy.
You don't see too much of him. And I would love
You're
like
right,
a
yeah.
Jurassic World type ride, but it's like Kong Skull Island.
That would be
Like
sick.
that would be like, why do they do that? Like
Oh,
they did
that'd
that.
be really cool.
Yeah, like
Or you're
King
like
Kong
going
is-
through New York City and he's fucking shit up and you're like in a taxi
well,
or something.
they had one like that was like you were on like a elevated train or like the you know what I mean
yeah,
those ones,
yeah.
and it was called Confrontation, and it was like Universal Studios Florida, and it was like early '90s up until early 2000s, and then it burned down.
Oh shit.
But it like look it up, it looked amazing. Like it was like that, and it was like going through the city, and King Kong was like reaching
That's
for you,
sick, yeah.
fire and shit. It looked so cool. But I would love to see like that mixed with like going to Skull Island. I think that would be super cool.
Yeah, you're right. We should capitalize on those iconic characters.
Absolutely. Anything else before we call it a night, guys? Or you want to keep the pod going?
I'm good. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
Let's
too.
go get some bay. We're going to go get
hungry.
bay.
Yeah, well, Alan, promise me this and promise the Unfazed crew. When you do go into the military, do your best, be strong, remain unfazed, and make sure you don't lose your sense of humor.
Yeah.
Because I know I remember Mr. Zamara saying, like, some people would go in and, like, they'd, like, get kind of brainwashed.
Yeah.
Don't let it happen to you. Play the
No.
part, but don't lose
I
who
will
you
not.
are. man.
Yeah.
I will not.
All right, make sure you tell the camera, remain unfazed.
Remain unfazed.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Love you all, and, yeah, bye. See ya.